I've been pretty busy with exams recently, meaning I don't have as much time to indulge in anime as I would like. However, only when you treasure your time do you really notice when a show or a story goes downhill. When you no longer have the privilege to lose yourself in hours upon hours of mindless media, you realize when a show is no longer worth your time. Anyways, it was around this time when I realized that I did not like any of the shows this season. However, there has been one show I've been following, starting last season, The Eminence and Shadow. Now, if you're like me and are somewhat conscious to the edginess of a show, alarm bells would very quickly be ringing in your mind as soon as you watch the first episode. I don't want to go too far into retelling the story, but in short, a boy ignores a girl, the girl gets kidnapped, the boy finds the kidnappers and beats the shit out of them with crowbars while reciting some very comically dark lines. I actually read the manga, and it's clear that this first episode choice was made by the production team of the anime. There is nowhere near this extreme level of edginess in the manga, meaning the author is not to blame here. This might be one of the main reasons why the show was actually bearable to watch as it went on. When a show's edginess is defined by the author and engraved into the content, that's when it becomes very obvious that anyone over the age of 12 would be cringing in horror. Anyways, I'm not here to discuss the reasons why the first episode was made the way it was. I'm here to talk about the characterization of Kagano and the rest of the characters. Now, I'm not in any way, shape or form saying that this show depicts an accurate representation of psychopathy as a medical term, because obviously it doesn't, it's an anime. Here, I'm referring to psychopathy as an umbrella term for any character who has clear lack of restraint when it comes to killing someone else. In an incredibly refreshing way, Kagano demonstrates the beauty of having such a lack of discretion when it comes to killing another. As you watch this show, you're able to bathe in his apathy, brushing off all the other characters who wish to use him for their own gain. Whilst this show overuses some anime tropes, the core of his morality stays the same. He's able to observe some things from an external perspective. He sees himself almost as an entity, just as detached from the world as he is from himself. He does not try to justify his actions, as he sees himself to be above everyone else. He doesn't try to sugarcoat his opinions. He is the prime example of a god, wanting to live the life of a normal person. Anyways, I'm sure you've already heard about most of this. There's no shortage of videos talking about this topic anyways. However, not many of them talk about how shitty the other characters are. Just for reference, I'll be mostly discussing their anime adaptations. Just take a step back for a second. Before you're entranced in the unique aesthetic and enchanting characterization of Kagano, I'm sure the first thing that most people realize was that the side characters of this show, put bluntly, are absolutely horrific. Just take Claire for example. Aside from a shell of tropes, she has literally next to no development or depth. Her motivations are cliche at best, and most of the time she just runs around like an idiot, completely naive to what's happening around her. Or Sherry for example, she is literally a fossil of the remnants of 2000s anime girls, acting as nothing more than tame fan service and thrown in for the purpose of giving other characters a smidge of depth. She has almost no influence on the plot aside from providing Kagano with a get-out-of-jail-free card around episode 10 or so. Don't even get me started on any of the girls in Kagano's posse, named quite tackily after the Greek alphabet. Aside from Alpha, who at least has the bare minimum development and a bearable personality, all of them can be described as tropes or can be described with a single sentence. For the most part, if this were any other anime, I would say that there were way too many side characters, causing none of them to get adequate development. However, this is not all other anime. In an almost fascinatingly abstract way, the poor characterization of the rest of the cast only serves to emphasize the theme that the show is trying to develop. By giving them very little development and basic descriptions, it's almost as if the show is trying to tell us that the rest of the cast is insignificant. Cid Kagenou sees everyone else as foils in his own show, and in the same vein, Kagano is the only one who gets real depth in this show. It's like an allegory within itself. The shallow characterization also allows the viewer to be desensitized to Kagano's psychopathic tendencies and murders. It's like they're all just NPCs in a video game, allowing Kagano to further commit crimes without any remorse. This allows the readers to enjoy the craziness without feeling as if they're deranged seeing such atrocities. This is likely one of the only examples of a show in which such a contrast of quality can still be acceptable, or even suitable. Its unique blend of comedy, action, and memorable protagonists truly transcends even the basics of narrative theory. Anyways, that's all from me. I want to make a video on Chishia from Alice in Borderlands soon, so stay tuned for that. And I know this isn't the normal Classroom of the Elite analysis, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways, because I mean, Classroom of the Elite is only gonna, last for so long. Anyways, the next episode of that will probably come out soon. So yeah, See ya, I guess.